Good evening to everyone. This is Ramesh Babu Arja, B2RDM, on behalf of Academy of Ham Radio, would like to pass on greetings on the eve of World Amateur Radio Day. That is today, April 18. April 18 that will be celebrated as the International Amateur Radio Day. Every year, 1925, International Telecommunication Union was established and the first meeting was conducted in the Paris. It is the confederation of all the national organizations of world, and they will be coordinating with the International Telecommunication Union and thus they will fight for the rights of amateur radio worldwide. After invention of shortwave frequencies were initially thought to be useless for long-range communication, and thus only there was the impression on those days medium wave only can useful for radio communication, and short wave is merely, that is in between the frequency in between 3 megahertz to 30 megahertz, that is useless, cannot be used for communication. Those days that impression was there among the experts, and thus that frequency was left out for amateur radio operators experimenting. Ham radio experimenters continuously putting their efforts, burning their midnight oil, and at last they have succeeded sending the signal over the Atlantic Ocean using shortwave, and thus long range communication has been started, and that long range communication, the electromagnetic wave travels at the speed of 320,000 kilometers per second, and thus if you say hello to the ham radio, that signal travels that completes the wave 8 times in a minute. That means 1/8 second it will take to complete one round. Such a tremendous speed that will travel. Due to the invention of shortwave, real-time long-range communication was started. And once finding this reality, and the agencies relating to government and also professional people, they wanted to grab all the frequencies, and again there were some restrictions and limitations using ham radio for hams. All the amateur radio operators, hobbyists, they formed under the umbrella of International Amateur Radio Union in 1925, exactly 98 years back, and in which it was started initially those days with the members of 25 countries. As of today, the number is swelled to somewhere else. 170 countries have joined in the International Amateur Radio Union, and thus they will be they will be putting forward their right thinking and ideas. And then with regard to ham radio, those days the frequencies 160 meter, 80 meter, 40 meter, 20 meter, 10 meters were allotted for amateur radio uses. Still, as on today, these frequencies are being utilized by the hams. Today, it is a special day in remembrance of that 1925. Every April 18th, every year, World Amateur Radio Day will be celebrated. And this year, it is security for humans, or is the concept of this year, and from April 11th onwards up to 25th, ham radio activities, field days and meetings will be conducted, contests will be conducted, and ham radio operators, hams will be on airwaves. So as a token of remembrance of this day celebrating ham radio, initially it's started with some people like Marconi, who invented radio waves. Graham Bell invented telephones. He has shown to the world how communication can be made through wires. After that, Marconi was started experimenting on electromagnetic waves. As long as we are on the shore ground, it is possible to communicate through the telephones, because we can connect one point to another point through wires. That is possible once, but 1/3 of the earth is covered with water. But if a ship is going in the middle of the sea, how he can communicate to the land? Only the thing is wireless. So Marconi was busily engaged finding a solution for this. Ultimately, he has succeeded, and later there were some scientific inventions were made by various scientists. Ørsted invented the magnetic waves will be produced around a current flowing conductor. Current flowing conductor can produce magnetic field, and some scientists started thinking in a different reverse way. If a current flowing conductor produces magnetic waves, why cannot be magnetic waves why cannot be used to produce electricity? This was realized, and then that idea has given a birth to invention of a dynamo. A dynamo's principle is around a permanent magnet, a copper winding will be made to rotate, and thus when the magnetic lines of force cuts the copper wire and induces voltage in it. So that was the concept behind this, and which was realized later. Thus we are able to generate current through these dynamos and dynamos principle basically. And Marconi, he started and further he expanded his investigation. Why cannot be these magnetic waves used to communicate far off places? Magnetic waves, if a steady current flows through a current flowing conductor, steady magnetic fields will be produced. If the variation varying conductor current generates varying magnetic fields, if these variations made enough range, that is in few megahertz, these electromagnetic waves, they will be radiated in the air in the form of some energy. This so it will travel in the free space at the speed of 320,000 kilometers. Initially, those days, Marconi was made spark gap transmitter. Initially, few meters experimentally he has shown, succeeded in his attempt. After some time, around 1915, he has succeeded in his attempt by sending the signal over the Atlantic Ocean to few kilometers to few thousand kilometers, later extended to few thousand kilometers, and thus shortwave was invented. Later, the worldwide communication, which helped us to develop worldwide communication. So many modifications have been done. In those days, Marconi was experimenting with some crude equipment, spark gap transmitter. Now, many inventions have been made, like amplitude modulation, frequency modulation. Of course, the technology like software defined radios, and we are now entering into satellite communication. Dedicated satellites are also coming up, like the one which QO100, that is available exclusively for ham radio operation round the clock, which makes it possible to communicate worldwide communication 24/7. The thing is only we are not having that much of awareness among our students. Those countries who encouraged ham radio and they have become the cause of increasing the ham radio activities and hams in their country, which helped them to improve the electronic field also. One thing is sure, ham operators directly, they will contribute themselves in the field of electronics. So wherever hams are there, electronic field also will develop, so definitely. Suppose, for example, 10 lakh amateur radio operators are there. Among them, at least 1 lakh ham radio operators, they will be doing something on antennas, or some people doing an power supply, some people on transceivers, and thus electronic circuits will develop, various circuits. So that is why Japanese people, they are having more number of hams. They have produced more number of hams in their country. The government, they have took initiative. They will induce a ham radio activity at the school level itself, school level at the younger age. So that is why lakhs of people are there from Japan. So that is why they are number one in the field of electronics. Sometime back, China, there were some restrictions, limitations on ham radio in China. But once they have realized this is directly having bearing on electronic development, if ham radio operators are, more number of ham radio operators are there, which helps to improve electronic field. That's why, and then after realizing this fact, they have lifted all the limitations and they started encouraging hams in their country. As a result of which, the walkie-talkie now I am holding with my hand, it is made in China and available just for starting at the cost of 2,500. Baofeng 555, it is available VHF, UHF and FM radio, torchlight, all facilities are included, which is coming for just 2,500. You can imagine how cheap these equipments are available. And now you all know cell phones, how cell phones are costing 15,000, 20, 25, 30, 50,000 rupees. But even still, a walkie-talkie is available in the international market, just 2,500. You can get a walkie-talkie. You may be thinking what you can do with small walkie-talkie. This walkie-talkie which can operate. So one interesting thing I would like to share now on this occasion, International Amateur Radio Day, World Amateur Radio Day. 25 years back, the Japanese made VHF, UHF transceiver was available in the international market, 25,000 rupees. Those days, 25,000 rupees is very, very strong enough to purchase 1 acre of land in the prime locality of Amaravati in Andhra Pradesh. 1 acre of land. it is very, very difficult. One cannot dream to have a VHF transceiver, dual mode transceiver on those days. Now everybody can have 2,500 rupees is nothing now. Everybody can have, and you may be thinking what you can do. These walkie-talkies, of course, when directly connected to other person, the range is limited. Line of sight communication. Once you start communicating through the help of repeater, the range can be enhanced to 50 kilometers to 100 kilometers depending upon the height of the repeater antenna. And once that repeater is connected to echo link, the revolutionary technology makes it possible to communicate simply with the walkie-talkie. The revolutionary technology echo link, web-based communication, that makes it possible simply walking on BRT's road or Vicent road or Yelur road, or matter of fact any road in Vijayawada can easily connect through the repeater, and repeater is linked to echo link. A person is moving in New York or in Tokyo, that is possible with the 2,500 rupees walkie-talkie. You can have a global communication. That is possible. The only thing is awareness. Awareness is not there. Just our endeavor is to make students and technocrats to sensitize them and bring them and enhance the ham radio activity, and thus it will automatically boost the electronic activity. So that is our idea. Now I would like I wanted to share this information on this great day, that is World Amateur Radio Day. Once again, I would like to pass on my best regards to each and every ham, and also those people, technocrats, students. On this occasion, I'm passing my best regards to them. With this, I would like to leave from all of you my best wishes, that is 73 to all of you, by Ramesh Babu Arja, VU2 RDM, signing off. Bye for now.